Welcome back to America Decides. Thanks for staying with us. The Department of Education's Washington and regional offices are closed today. But when they reopen, employees coming back to work, well, many of them will be returning for just a little more than a week. More than 1,000 are being placed on leave beginning March 21st. Sheria Smith joins me now. She is the president of the American Federation of Government Employees Local 252, represents employees of the Department of Education. Sheria, it's great to have you with us. Two questions. How are your employees doing, and what are their jobs now that they're not going to have in the not too distant future?
Yeah. We have not been doing well. We haven't been doing well since January 21st. Even though my colleagues and I really wanted to work with this administration, as we have worked with previous administrations, including the first Trump administration, we have not been allowed to. And yesterday, for 969 of us, well, at least the non-managers, we have officially received notice that we cannot work for the American public through the U.S. Department of Education starting in June. And this is just another blip on a reign of terror on the American people and the federal workforce in this administration. And it's extremely unprofessional and extremely cruel.
Do you have legal recourse?
Yeah, of course we do. And I'm a lawyer by trade. I was a litigator before. What we've learned from the previous terminations and changes in working conditions is that this has been unfairly borne by women and employees of color. And women and employees of color were disproportionately placed on administrative leave for roles they did not perform for alleged DEI activity starting in January. And we're now analyzing the numbers and the characteristics of those who have been laid off yesterday to see if we have other concerning trends. But as a litigator, we recognize that lawsuits are not immediate. You file a lawsuit and it takes years. We've had to unfortunately file lawsuits against the first Trump administration when they acted illegally, and we did not receive recourse for some time. So we're absolutely analyzing the data that we have. We just received this information yesterday to avail ourselves of the best recourse. But one of the things that everyone can do, your viewers can do today, is let their members of Congress and senators know that this behavior is unacceptable. It is unacceptable to disrupt the services that they receive without so much of a plan to continue it. It is unacceptable to fire almost half of a workforce for doing their job without any explanation of how the work that we've tried to perform, that we performed in the last administration and the last Trump administration, how it's going to continue. Completely irresponsible and illegal.
The president, as you know, Sheria, says frequently that he wants education to go back to the states. You know as well as I do, probably better, that states have the largest budget allocation for education, K through 12. What mostly the federal Department of Education does is deal with Pell Grants, student loans, special education funding that goes to the state, and Title I funding to underserved schools across the country. What are your employees who are affected by these termination notices? Are they involved in all of those various tasks, and
Absolutely.
will those services suffer as a result?
Yes, they are all involved, and all those services suffer. I'm not just a lawyer. I'm a former teacher in the state of Texas. And when I taught in the classroom, everything, my curriculum, the test I administered to my students was dictated by by the state of Texas. And it is extremely frustrating to hear people in the highest office blame my colleagues and I for low test scores and curriculum when that is not what we do. And then in the same breath say that those things need to be returned to the states. They are intentionally misguiding the American public. Those things are already with the state. When they are trying to eliminate our agency, what they are eliminating is oversight and additional funding to the states. They want the same states that they are saying have low test scores and have terrible curriculum to now operate without any oversight. That sounds extremely problematic to me. And when we've talked to detractors of the US Department of Education, like the congressman in the 26th District of Texas, their staff members, when we've asked those questions, I think that are very viable, they've conveniently got off camera.
Sheria Smith, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.